Hello, this is our presentation of medical imaging presented by me, Eddie, Melissa, and Annalita. X-rays. The history of X-rays. A German physicist named Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays while experimenting with electrical currents in 1985. He made his first X-ray using his wife's hand, and by 1900s, X-rays were widely used to detect a variety of injuries and diseases. How they work. They form a high energy electromagnetic radiation with a short wavelength. They're capable of penetrating solids and ionizing gases, and they're used when directing towards a metallic plate behind the patient's body. Soft tissues show up as gray, and hard tissues show like bones appear as light. Used mainly for viewing fractures and in dentistry. The history of computed tomography. It was invented in 1967 and created by Sir Godfrey Hounsfield. It was inspired from another doctor and his complaint about X ray scans being fuzzy and only being two dimensional, and it was invented with the purpose of being three dimensional. How computed tomography works. The patient lies in a circular sort of donut looking scanner, and the X ray scanner rotates around. On the side of the table scanner, data is collected and reconstructed and put together, and stacks images to make a 3D image. Why computed tomography is used to identify and diagnose for surgery and monitor treatment.
MRI is a type of medical imaging that's non invasive, meaning it does not involve cutting the body or putting something into the body. It is based on nuclear physics, which is matter exposed to magnetic fields and radio waves, resulting in radio signals. In 1970, Raymond applied for a patent for the first MRI scanning device. The first MRI was simple but over time developed into precise imaging. Some disadvantages of MRIs are that they are expensive, uncomfortable, noisy, and produce powerful electromagnets that makes it impossible for patients with metal implants to undergo MRI scanning. Lastly, functional MRIs, also known as fMRIs, detect blood flow in certain parts of the body and are now used to learn about the locations of different brain functions and abnormalities. Positron emission tomography, also known as PET scans, is another medical imaging technique. PET scans use radiopharmaceuticals, substances that emit radiation momentarily. Because it is brief, it is somewhat safe to administer to the body. The first PET scanner was introduced in 1961. However, it took 15 plus years before pharmaceuticals were combined with the technique, transforming its potential. The advantages of PET scans is that it illustrates physiological activity of the organs. It is widely used to diagnose multiple conditions. Ultrasonography is another type of imaging technique. It was first developed in the 1940s and 1950s. It uses transmission of high-frequency sound waves in order to generate echo signals that are converted into images by the computer. Of the imaging techniques, it is the least invasive and therefore used for sensitive situations. It is used to study heart functions, blood, and fetal growth. However, the disadvantages of ultrasonography is that the image quality is heavily dependent on the operator's capabilities. Also, it is incapable of penetrating bone and gas.